Finally, we're doing a review on the Wheelstand Pro Deluxe V2 that I got sent a while ago. Really sorry, Wheelstand Pro. Wanted to do an in-depth review. Anyway, here we are. This is going to be the review of the Deluxe V2 and also the RGS module add-on. So you can actually buy this in a bundle, since when I got it, it was an add-on. So you can actually buy the Wheelstand Pro and the RGS module add-on, and I would highly recommend you do so. It really improves it. Anyway, onto the actual proper review of this thing. Now, when I originally got the Wheelstand Pro, going off of other people's reviews, I thought my small space wouldn't be so great with this because, well, I had a much smaller space than I do now, and even now I have a small space. But honestly, it makes everything a lot easier, I found. For example, when setting up a wheel, it's usually got the clamp and you got to twist the clamp and unclamp it when you don't want to use it, and it's just a really annoying process. But with the Wheelstand Pro, you can actually make it really simple to get the wheel out and put it away. You literally just fold 2 parts in, or 3 if you got the RGS module, and you can pack it away and it takes up less space. It's a lot easier to get the wheel out, if you will, when you want to play on games, because that's always one downside with the wheel. Every time I wanted to use it, I would have to clamp it to the desk or unclamp it to the desk, and you know, it's just a long process that you don't really want to have every time you want to play. You just get on and play. This makes it a hell of a lot easier. Both the wheel stand and the shifter add-on are both of ridiculous quality, and that leads me to believe everything from this company will be of the same quality. It's just really top notch, very sturdy, literally no wiggling around. Even though like you have a heck of a lot of force on that wheel when you're pushing it and turning it in races and that sort of thing, you get little movement, which is, well, ideal, because obviously when you're driving a car, for example, your car doesn't just move out of the way. Like, the car is stronger than you, and that's how this, you know, it feels. It doesn't feel as if you're going to push it over. If you push it, it's got some weight to it. But at the same time, it's not ridiculously heavy, because otherwise you won't be able to move it around very easily. Now, this thing is ridiculously adjustable. You can adjust it to basically twist it all the way around. It's just simple poles and tightening them, and you get the idea. It's a very simple mechanism on how to hold things together and adjust things. It makes it very easy, again, for packing away, but also for adjusting to specific people. If you're a bit, you know, longer legs, if you've got shorter legs, if you're giving your brother a go, for example, you know, it's just very easy to adjust to whoever's playing. And again, it removes the issue of pedals sliding around when you press on them, because there's some pedals, like sets, mainly like the original ones that come with your steering wheel, with any Thrustmaster or Logitech, you'll probably find that they don't really grip very well. Well, this, you literally attach them with the like screws and bolts and whatever to the actual wheel stand, and the wheel stand is a lot heavier than the pedals, so those things aren't going to be sliding around when you're, well, basically playing. As I said at the beginning of this review, it's even easy to use if you don't have a lot of room, but at the same time, I've got to just say that you should have a little bit more room than I had. It wasn't amazing to use with a small, tight space I had, because my room is absolutely tiny, especially when I had the bed in here as well. There was no room to basically move it around or adjust it, especially with the shifter as well. The shifter would catch on my desk and that sort of thing. It wasn't a very pleasant experience, but again, to me, it was actually better than what it was before, having it hooked to the desk and having to rehook it to the desk every time I use it, and it was just an annoying process. It made the process a lot easier, and I would prefer having this and a little bit less room, if that makes sense, than having to hook it on my desk every time. But if you have a huge living room you're going to be using, or a dedicated like amount of space to be able to put it, say you've got enough room for 2 big gaming chairs, you'll be sorted, because you have 1 chair and then you have yourself the wheel stand. You'll have plenty of room to use this thing. But whip it out, give it a go on, I don't know, whatever racing game you're going to play, and then pack it away again very easily because of the usefulness of folding things. Now, the RGS module that I got after the Wheelstand Pro, what it basically does is separate it from the actual normal wheel stand. And this means you can actually adjust the height of the shifter and the position of the shifter a lot better in general compared to when it's attached to the actual wheel. It just makes it so it's further down if you want it to be, or higher up if you want it to be. It gives you the choice to do so, and I usually have it further down like it is in a real car. So far, I have huge praise for the Wheelstand Pro Deluxe V2 and RGS module, but are there any negatives to setting up something like this? So the first negative that I ran into at the beginning was actually the instructions on how to set it up. Original setup this is. So once you actually got it set up, it's really simple to fold out again, that sort of thing. I'll even like show you. It's ridiculously easy to do it. the original setup is a little bit confusing. Now, obviously, this is going to vary with what wheel you use and what shifter you use and what pedals you use and that sort of thing, but with my experience, the T300 RS, or the Ferrari GTE, should I say it was originally, along with the 3PA pedals, I think it is, and the THAA shifter, you get the idea. It was a little bit confusing, and also the fact that I actually ended up putting the shifter on the wrong side originally, so I had to redo a lot of the process. But yeah, there's some little things that in the instructions that could have been a little bit easier or explained in a different way. There's one thing with my pedals, there was actually an Allen key slot in the middle in where it asked me to put the screw for the Wheelstand Pro, but there was also already something in there, and I couldn't get the Allen. I had to get an Allen key set to get that Allen headed screw out of the pedals to then put in the screw that they provided. So they provide the tools to set it up as you would expect, but I ran into a niggle there, basically, in where I didn't have the right side Allen key to get out the screw from the pedals to be able to put theirs in, if that makes sense. But they do provide the tools to be able to attach things generally. It's just little niggles like that. Say, Thrustmaster, after the point of me getting those pedals, updated the pedals to not have that screw there. It's just, you know, little things like that. But honestly, other than the instructions themselves not being massively clear, they could have been updated in the time that I took to make this bloody review. But again, I can't really think of any niggles after actually setting like the original setup of it. One cool little feature that I actually saw in a video, and it's like, I understand it in a way, but I don't fully understand it, so my brain's like, whoa, that's really cool. One weird thing is that when it's, say, uneven on the floor, all you have to do is kind of like give it a little bit of a wiggle, and then it's solid on the floor. It's really adaptive in that way, and it's really, well, useful in general. But when I first saw it on the video, I never thought of it. Like, it was pretty cool. It's like, oh my god, you just like wobble it around a little bit, and for some reason it's perfectly placed. A couple of little niggles about the RGS module itself. I used it as an add-on, remember, so I had the wheel stand and then I got that. You can actually buy them together, so that may be a bit different if you do that. But the setup process, I had to like cut one of the rubber feet, and it was a little bit scary, if that makes sense, but in the end I managed to get it right. So the RGS module works on both the left and the right of the Wheelstand Pro, so you can put it to exactly the location that you want to use it, or where you live, for example. But what I found is when you put it on the left side, which is where fewer people would obviously have it, the little catch to basically twist the little arm, you have to kind of lift it up a little bit to fold it away, and it's a little bit of a niggle again, but it's not a deal breaker, because once you actually put the arm up, it's not in the way. You can easily fold it to the side and it's not an issue. But again, putting it away, it's a little bit of an annoyance that you have to kind of deal with it being on that side. But literally, other than the little niggles I mentioned, the Wheelstand Pro is an absolutely solid product. It's ridiculously well built. It's ridiculously easy to fold away, put away, and just make your wheel experience really easy. If you don't want to get like a full-on racing chair sim, you just kind of want to pull out the wheel stand. It's unbeatable, really. A link to the Pro Deluxe V2 is always in the description, along with the RGS module. And also, friends, I'll link the Wheelstand Pro website in the description in general, because I want you guys to obviously be able to check it and see if it's available for your wheel, because there are different variations of the stand and that sort of thing. But the general idea of the product is to make your life easier with your wheel, and for me, it definitely did that. If you'd like to see me use the Wheelstand Pro in gameplay form on a video, on my normal commentary style video, I'll put some links on screen right now, and you can click them, and they'll basically take you to videos using the Wheelstand Pro. Other than that, that is pretty much all you need to know. The Wheelstand Pro, it's pretty damn good. Be sure to leave a like if you found this helpful, useful, or enjoyable in any way. Subscribe if you are new, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace.